Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of the Nonsense Podcast. That's how an intro's fucking done around these parts. I happen to be the host, F and Bob, the effing CEO, the host with the most, the guy who is just in charge of things that are funny right now for you on this podcast, in this space, in your little world, in your little town. I'm just here to give you a quick laugh or two. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Oh man, my intros are getting longer and longer. I'm gonna have a Henny style intro eventually. Either way, what's going on? How are you? On this beautiful Friday afternoon, Friday morning? Yeah, Friday morning. Maybe you listen to it in the afternoon. I don't fucking know. But how's your Friday going? How's your week been? How are things going? Are things as 10 times more ridiculous as the week it started on? Did you end on a high note? You got plans for the weekend? What are you doing this weekend? What am I doing this weekend? I am doing... Shit, what am I doing this weekend? I don't know. I don't fucking know. But by the way, if anybody's wondering, Kelly's in the background. Say hello, Kelly.
Hello.
Our effing engineer, the one who's just in behind the scenes, pressing all the buttons, making things pop up like they're supposed to. We appreciate you. You are seen and known and valid. Either way, I don't think we have any plans for this weekend. My only plans right now are to play through Final Fantasy VII again. Final Fantasy VII. I don't think I've mentioned that enough on this fucking show. The remake, part 2, Final Fantasy Rebirth, is coming in only like 50 more days. It's only 50 more days if my math is correct. So yeah, I got to play through the entire series again. It's coming. It's time. So I'm now working on Final Fantasy Original. So I'm going to play through that first. The plan is to play through Original, Dirge of Cerberus at least. I would like to get through Dirge of Cerberus. Maybe Crisis Core again. And then Final Fantasy Remake. So four games in 50 days. 10 games each. Dirge of Cerberus shouldn't take me that long. That's like a couple hour game. Crisis Core is going to be the one that's the hardest. Just because I don't know how I want to replay it. And then Remake should take me a couple days. Remake was pretty easy for me to get through. I'm probably going to play through a New Game Plus run and just kind of speed right through it. That plus the DLC with Yuffie's story. And I want to get that done pretty much the week of the game coming out. So I want to finish that one, end it, have maybe 2 days off, and then right into the next one. And then I'll be re-watching the Final Fantasy Advent Children movie in theaters if everything works out, because they will be back in theaters. So I think only 2 days only in February, the week before the game releases. So check your local listings and see if you're able to go see it too. Looking forward to that. Was going to watch it anyway. I'm finishing up Final Fantasy VII Tale of Two Stories. It's the Tifa and Yuffie story, or Tifa and Aerith story. I finished part 1 of Tifa's backstory, finishing off Aerith's story. Yeah, no, my next 50 days are Final Fantasy packed. I will be doing nothing but enjoying Final Fantasy VII, waiting for that remake to come out. I already got my PTO in, ready to go. It's going to be cash money. I'm out. It's going to be decent. So yeah, that's all I'm looking forward to is just chill, playing Final Fantasy. So that's what I've been working on. I have also Gamer Talk, man. Gamer Talk. We're talking game shit right now. I have still yet to complete Final Fantasy Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'm trying. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get all the backstory shit or side story shit done. I've done all 4 of the main character story bits where you have to travel to each individual place again. I've done a lot of the extra shit. I've already got my Master Sword. I've got most of my clothes leveled up. I'm just trying to do some side story stuff just because once I finish Ganondorf, I'm done with the game. So I'm playing that kind of in my background, but I'm working on it. I'm having fun with it, so I'm taking my time and enjoying it. What else have I been playing? I finished the story for Mortal Kombat 1. Hate to say this. Mortal Kombat 1 has one of the best fucking stories in a game that I've played in a long time. Like, Mortal Kombat just knows how to tell a story. If you haven't played the story, you haven't played any Mortal Kombat, I implore you, fucking get into Mortal Kombat, dude. It's well worth it. Gameplay wise, not my favorite fighting game, because my favorite fighting game always goes back to Tekken. Demo dropped over the last weekend, so I've been playing the demo like fucking crazy. Super looking forward to Tekken 8. Yeah, Tekken 8. So that one's always going to be my favorite fighting game of all time. I hear rumors that there's going to be another Soul Calibur as well too, so cross your fingers. But yeah, no, I've been playing games pretty seriously, pretty heavily. I'm trying to get through a bunch of shit because I also want to just really harp down and focus on Final Fantasy. So I'm playing Final Fantasy for the most part, then sprinkling in some extra shit in the background to make sure that I, get through all of my stuff. I'm trying to start off my 2024, clean slated for the most part. So I didn't get to, capitalize everything off like I wanted to, but I'm working on it. Is my mic still good? I'm sorry. I don't know if I fucked it up. I'm sorry. I bumped it. But yeah, no, I'm cleaning off stuff either way it goes. What else is going on? Final Fantasy, Mortal Kombat, Tears of the Kingdom. Is there any other games that I've been fucking around with? No, that's it. I'm just trying to knock that shit out and then enjoy fucking what's the name. Don't know if you caught it in the first episode or the first episode of 2024. That's not the fucking best of. But first episode, I deleted TikTok. So if you're looking for me on TikTok, I'm not bothering right now. Not that I just don't want it. I think it was just bad for my mental health. So that's one of, I guess you can call that a New Year's resolution for me. One of my things is I'm doing things that are good for me. Good for good old Bob, the person, I don't care about not that I don't care about nonsense podcasts or blowing myself up and things like that. I'm really focusing on my own mental headspace right now. And I think I've realized that over time. It's just like the more I've been dealing with social media and shit like that, the more my brain's just been fucking scatterbrained. So, yeah, deleting TikTok was one of those things where I just had to, it was good to help me step back. Now, where am I getting my content from? Yeah, I'm still looking at YouTube Shorts and Instagram. But I feel like TikTok was just wired a different way where it just kept you doom scrolling for hours on end. And I don't see myself doing that as often with YouTube. YouTube is one of those things where it plays in the background type shit. But I get to enjoy my life while that's going on. So kind of nice to do that. The biggest reason why I've done so is because I want to obviously stay away from game and spoilery shit because people were spoiling shit left and right for me. I finally finished the DLC for God of War Valhalla. And that was I bum rushed into it because it was slowly getting spoiled for me on the internet. So I think that's a lot of things that I'm trying to do. I'm not telling anybody else what to do with their lives, but if you care about your mental health a little bit, I feel like taking a step back from social media is really good for your mental health. Just not in a negative way, but just like, yeah, fucking tell the internet to fuck off. You don't need them telling you everything in the world, I felt like they was just starting to slowly ruin shit for me. So it's been nice. It's been nice being a little less social media'd. But that's not stopping clips from going up on Instagram. So I still get to do that. A little minor promotion here and there. But either way, man, hopefully everything's going on your neck of the woods. Hopefully this is going to be a great weekend. This is going to be the kickoff of a cold weekend. I see it coming. I've seen the weather reports. It's going to be a little frosty out here in Chicagoland. So I don't know how it is looking for the rest of the world, the rest of the listeners. Which I would also like to say shout out to the listeners all across the United States. I took a look at our fucking numbers not too long ago. We are spreading. We're spreading thin and spreading fast. At least for our audio listeners. Fucking obviously Illinois and Chicago because we're based here, so they like us. Indiana, Wisconsin, fucking Tennessee, Florida, California. Like, holy shit, man. You guys actually might give a shit about me a little bit. Thanks. Really going hardcore overseas too. We got fucking Japan again. Japan's coming back. But you know what's the sad thing? Is our female listeners are going away. Or not going away, but it's just the number quality is diminishing. So we were at 10, and now we're down to 4% female listeners. What happened? What did we do? It was Henny, wasn't it? I blame Henny. He was going off on you guys' purses and the fact that you guys have icks. I didn't do nothing. If anything, what would be my fault is our LGBTQ listeners, and that's been going up. So I don't know how that happened, but we've got more LGBTQ listeners. So I'm making fun of you, and you're showing up, but the women are leaving. That's all Henny. That's all Henny. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Oh boy, he's not gonna like that statement at all. But either way, hopefully your weekend's full of some fun shit and relaxing and whatnot. How are we looking on time? I know I'm kind of bum rushing through this episode a little. 10 minutes in? Damn. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I really sped through this one. Either way, so I did have something that I would like to bring up. Not to go on a somber note, but it has to be said because of it being, the tradition of Throwback Friday and whatnot. Not that we're throwing back early, but I would like to throw back most of this episode. So holidays happen. Everybody was in a jolly, cheery mood. I hope your holidays went well because I haven't really gotten a chance to ask. Comment below. Did you get something good for Christmas? Did you? Come on, man. I know you got something good. What'd you get, Kelly? Did you get anything you liked? You got a cup from the dog paw print cup from some past clients.
Yeah, one of my clients got me a paw print cup that I'm gonna use for coffee.
Hell
it's
yeah.
gonna be so good.
Oh, yeah.
I also got from the same client actually. She's amazing. But I got like these electric hand warmers.
Yeah, those are sick.
They're so handy, especially because
I see what you did there.
yeah. They need the drummer thing. But yeah, they've been so good with the cold, so I've loved them. So
do they
much.
fit like under your gloves, or you just kind of walk around with them in your hand?
I just kind of like hold them in my hand.
Okay.
But yeah, they get really, really, really warm. So, just turning them on the lowest setting warms your hands up.
Decent.
Like really good, yeah. And you can turn them off for a bit, and you're good. So,
Okay.
it's good stuff. I'm really, really liking it. And then I got fuzzy socks.
Fuzzy socks.
Love me some fuzzy socks. But yeah,
Damn, well, just forget me. I gave you a Yoshi.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, no, you weren't.
I was.
No, you weren't. I'm playing. I'm playing around. Santa brought you a Yoshi.
Yeah, I got a whole Yoshi that makes all of his noises and sounds, and he every little is like he has buttons all over him, and you can press them, and he makes all the sounds, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I like that he sings the song from Yoshi's Island. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about you, Bob?
I got nothing.
That's a lie.
What did I get?
You got stuff.
What did I get?
You
I didn't get shit.
You got stuff.
What?
We got a whole we got a whole new bed set.
I bought that. It's not a gift if I bought it.
Listen,
And that's my New Year's thing, man. You gotta start the year off fresh, man. You gotta get the new bed set, man. Don't bring them old nasty sheets into 2024. You gotta get the new sheets.
It's not my fault. You said you didn't want to do Christmas this year, and then you pop up with gifts.
I got you a single Yoshi, and Santa brought you that anyway. I didn't bring you shit. I didn't buy nothing. Santa Claus came in and kicked hand in the door and took over the podcast for a whole half an episode. I didn't do nothing. I did nothing at all. I did get some new sheets, though. I feel like starting off the year with some fresh sheets was kind of nice. Brand new pillow. It's kind of decent. Got us a VR headset, which has been really fun. What do you think of the new VR headset?
I think it's really dope. I mean, you've been playing it a lot more than me because I've been sick.
Well, yeah, you've been sick, yeah.
Yeah, my head. I've been getting headaches a lot with my congestion. But
True. But you're cleared up now.
yeah.
So maybe some VR action later.
Yeah.
There you go. I got cooking simulator. Job simulator.
Love me some job.
Get some job going. I got some weird ass like fucking John Wick ass shoot to the music ass game. That game's pretty dope. What else did I get? I think that's all I bought. I don't remember. I bought a lot of like random basic bitch bullshit. Oh, I bought the NFL game. That game's pretty awesome, actually. I really do like that. I think the VR headset was pretty dope. It was a nice gift for the both of us. Yeah. I enjoy it. So hopefully everybody at home got some good stuff. I'm not saying I'm upset that I didn't get good stuff because we got so much more shit to do this year. So much.
Buy a house.
Buying a house. Trying to go on vacation. Going to Ren Festival. Going to Alaska. Saving up to go to Japan. Maybe going to TwitchCon. Going to C2E2 for the first time.
Buying a puppy.
Buying a puppy.
Cricket's on the way.
You just keep. I think you be throwing the puppy in there just to make sure I don't forget.
You don't be. Listen, you're not gonna forget.
I'm not. He's just not on the list yet.
He's on the list.
He's last on the list.
He's not last.
He's last on the list after the house.
Listen, people, in the comments.
We're going on vacation.
Tell Bob that Cricket is not last on the list.
We're getting a dog. His name will be Cricket. It's fine. I'm just saying he's last because we're going on vacation. We're definitely going on vacation. We're probably going to start planning for it in like the next 30 minutes.
Okay, that's fine, but Cricket's not last.
We got to get the house before Cricket.
Okay, that's fine.
You said that. That's still last.
Okay, that's fine, but he's not last.
He's last on the list. What else did I have to put on the list? Vacation? Well, no, because he might come before Japan. Mm-hmm. Second to last.
I want my Cricket.
We're going to get a dog. It's okay. Don't give me no shit. Plus, I got to have a dog because that's how you get big as an influencer.
Yeah.
I want to be a TikTok, YouTube influencer, and you got to have an animal.
That's true.
So everybody then people don't even like you. They just like the dog and they harass you to make sure the dog's still alive.
True. And, he's got to learn all these new things for me because he's a business dog.
Yeah, he is going to be more of a business dog. But no, we're getting a dog eventually. Eventually soon, I would say. Mm-hmm. Sooner than later, I will definitely say. He's just far down on our current list right now. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't make him any less important. We don't want to bring up a dog in a hood. That's all.
Yeah, no.
And the best way to make sure that happens, if you go to guilttrip-entertainment.com and buy you some shirts and cups and mugs and stickers, and all those proceeds go to helping us move so we can fucking get Cricket the dog.
Get us a Cricket.
We need Cricket the dog in our lives, and only you are standing us in between us doing that. I mean, if you don't want to buy anything, all you have to do is just go to www.spreaker.com and listen to the podcast on there. Just listen to all the episodes. Don't even just listen to
Nonsense Podcast. Just search. It's the first one.
It's the first one that comes up now. As soon as you type in nonsense, we number one. Number one nonsense. And if you keep listening to us, make us number one on comedy in general. We got an upward hill to fight, but we can do it, man. Just got to get past the crash dummies. Them dudes is hilarious. And what's the other one that everybody likes? The you know something, or you don't know. The Cam and the other one.
Fish.
Right. We got to get past those dudes. Those dudes are hilarious as well. But yeah, we got to up our battle. But I just want to be first and funny because I am funny. I am the funniest.
They're dumb.
They're dumb funny. Yeah. I'm ridiculous funny. We're different funnies. I'm not saying that their funny's not valid. I'm just saying we're different funnies, and I want to be number one. What's wrong with my shirt? You don't like my belly? No. Midriff. I'm working on that this year. I've been in the gym a lot. I might just cheat and get one of those fucking fat suits. What do you call them? The like skin tight things that suck everything in for you. They got those for men now, which I feel like is that where we are as a society? Where men are buying fucking goiters, whatever the fuck you call them, sucking all this shit. So you can hide all their fats and rolls. I embrace my rolls, man. I'm a fat motherfucker, and I earn this shit. You know how hard it is to get fat? Why slim fast when you can get fat faster? Either way. All right. I think that's enough goofy shit. There's enough goofy shit for this episode. So the thing I did want to get to, not somber, not sad, but an embracement on the Throwback Friday episode. So a friend of the show, a fan of the show, the Tasmanian Devil himself, who you know from the PMA episode, the positive mental attitude episode is what we called it. He recently passed, so he is no longer with us, and it sucks because he was part of the reason why the show I feel like even exists, because he was a really big fan of it. He pushed it. He was on one of the episodes. And he was a good friend. He was just a good friend of everyone in the show and who's a part of the show and helped makes the show, a working aspect. So it sucks to say, it sucks to hear, it sucks, even have to even deal with it, during the beginning of the year, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. People come and people go. And I guess the best way to say it is, man, just cherish those who are around you. You never know when it's the last time you get to see them. As as Henny would say in most of his streams, you never know when the last time would be the last time or something like that. But it was just one of those things where it's just like, son of a bitch. I was not expecting to get that phone call or get that message at all. So, right, New Year's at that. This was New Year's when we found out, or was it? Was it New Year's? No, it was right. It was Christmas Eve that we found out. So yeah, no, it was just a sucking moment, and the ending of the year coming into the new year. Jesus. Either way, so we'd just like to dedicate, this Throwback Friday to Mr. Taz once again. He was a good friend, great individual, very positive individual, and that's saying something, mixed in with people like us. He was always just a positive outsource of entertainment. Also ridiculous. No, I'm not going to say he didn't have his ridiculous moments as well. But also just very positive in all of his aspects. I don't have many stories I can share about him, but I will tell this story. And this is a story that I've never told. I don't think I've ever told this story on the show at all. So here you go. This is a 2-part story. I'm going to hit you with my Ron White story. Taz, I don't know if you guys remember from the episode he was on, is an ex-Marine. So he was a Marine, traveled all over the world doing all the Marine-based shit, right? So he's seen some shit he's not seen, and, seen some shit that we probably just don't understand. But that's not the main focus of this first half of the story. The first half of the story was another Marine buddy of mine, and if you're listening, shout outs to you, bud, man. I'm telling your story because I was just a witness to the story being told. And like I said, my stories are always not focused around me, just circling around the ridiculous motherfuckers I know. So we're co-workers. Me and my co-worker, one of the Marine buddies, and another guy that I know. Very funny guys. We're doing a job. We're getting some stuff done, some computer equipment to be set up and configured and whatnot. So we're halfway through the job, and then we're just all just chit-chatting and talking, trying to pass the time by. And our Marine buddy tells us this fucking story, a fucking terrible, horrendous story. But for those of you who are in active military, how this is just how shit goes. So the story goes, and I'm paraphrasing because, again, I wasn't there. I'm telling somebody else's story. That they were out in Afghanistan. And at that point, they're on their way back to base. They get to a certain point right outside of a town, and there's this kid in the middle of the street. Or kids, if I'm not mistaken. Kids in the middle of the road. So they stop a few hundred yards back, and they're kind of staring at the situation, making noise, trying to get them out of the road. Because, again, you don't know what's going on, and especially in hostile environments like that. And you never know. It could be, used for setups for ambushes, all types of shit. So, again, for us civilians, sounds terrible, but for people who are in the active military, they understand. So he sees the kids in the middle of the street, tries to get them out of the street. He calls it in. Calls his commanding officer. And he's like, yo, what do? We can't go around because there's no way for us to get around. And these kids are blocking the road. What the fuck do we do? And the commanding officer gives them the word. He says, go straight through. If they move, they move. If they don't, it is what it is. So they start driving. Kids never move out of the road. They plow right through these fucking kids. Terrible, obviously, terrible incident and thing that happened. And the guy that's telling the story, he's really choked up about it. I think he really hates the story in a sense. But he's telling the story regardless. So they make it back to base. Commanding officer, even in that moment, sees the whole team is just kind of somber and disarray. So he says, you know what, you guys pack up for the day. Go inside. I'll take care of this. Commanding officer cleans up the truck. Now, at the end of this story, it's quiet. Probably like it is right now with you listening. Dead silence in the room. And one of my other buddies, who has very similar nonsense humor, looks around the quiet room, looks at him and says, hey, sometimes you got to put that bitch in sports mode. It's the most diabolical shit I think I've ever heard in my life. It's fucked up. Everybody laughs. Everybody laughs, including the fucking Marines. They all laugh. Because it's fucked up, but it's true. And again, coming from a civilian who's just, again, fucked up humor like the rest of us and here at the Nonsense Podcast, it's just wild shit to say. Just, hey, sometimes you gotta put that bitch in sports mode. Mind you, because of that, I've never been able to see a vehicle with sports mode the same way ever again in my life. Shit's hilarious at this point to me. Reason why I tell that story is much further down the line. Me and my boy Taz were working together. You know, we're co-workers at that point. So I'm telling a story. I'm retelling a story to another group of co-workers. They all hear the same story, the same way I told you. Gets to the part, put that bitch in sports mode. Everybody kind of somberly chuckles. It's quiet, then everybody chuckles. So then somebody's like, yo, there goes Taz. You got to tell him the story, man. He was in the Marines, and I'm just like, no. I do the fucking Kevin Hart in me. I'm like, no, I don't want to. Pineapples. I'm not telling that story to another fucking Marine because I don't know how the fuck he's going to take it. Now, Taz, I know for a fact, has been in some shit. He's seen combat. He's been around all types of shit. I knew him well enough to know that he's seen some shit. And I don't know how his brain's going to work, especially when we're talking about another person who says some shit like you got to put that bitch in sports mode. So I don't know how he's going to take it. So everybody convinces me once he comes downstairs and he's like, you got to tell him. You got to tell him the story. And I'm like, fine, fuck it. So I run through the story with Taz. Get to the part where, hey, sometimes you got to put that bitch in sports mode. And I'm waiting. Everybody's like on pins and needles. So we're like, how is he going to react? And it's quiet. And he looks, he was staring down as I'm telling the story. And he looks up and says, yeah, that's about right. And then walks off and continues his day. And it just made everyone else laugh twice as hard because his brain's just like, yeah, fuck it. What the fuck you want me to do? Stop? No, fuck him. Run through. So again, and he took it. It was funny to him too, but it was just, he also just understood. So it was just one of those things where positive human being, great person, but goddamn, to tell him a story like that, it was like, what the fuck, man? I was not expecting that reaction. I don't think anybody else was expecting that reaction, but it is what it is, man. Yeah, that's 100% some Taz shit. Wish I got to bring that story up on the podcast as well. That would have been hilarious to retell that story one more time with him. But we didn't get that chance. So as Henny would say, you never know when the last time is the last time, and never take those moments for granted. Either way, so obviously on this episode of Throwback Friday, we're going to throw back to the PMA episode just to give him one last good nonsense shout out, one last good nonsense send off. May he rest in peace. May everybody he's got to deal with and the rest of his family and friends, hopefully they got to see the funny light side that we got to see on this show and I got to see in my personal life. Yeah, with that being said, I think that's the show, right? So as always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Buy some merch, do some things. Listen on Spreaker, man. And stay tuned for the PMA episode one more time. We'll see you next week. Welcome back, everybody, to the Nonsense Podcast. I'm your host, FM Bob. And with me today is a very special guest, known only as the Tasmanian Devil. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well, man. It's been a long time coming. I've been dying to get you on the show, and I'm glad I got you now.
Me too. We've been talking about this for quite a minute, and it's about that time.
Yeah, no, it is. It's definitely about that time. And you're a man of many stories, so I hope I can probe you as much as humanly possible. No pun intended.
All right. Sounds good. I'll give you what I can. Of course.
So, first off, I'd just like to let you know, because I don't know if you've actually listened to the previous episodes of the show. I typically am an open book, and I respect if you don't want to be an open book, but that's not going to stop me from asking you every question I can get my hands on. And
I'm sure.
And especially based on the last few episodes I've done have been heavily relationship based. So I might definitely dive into that a little bit in this episode as well.
No, that's all right. I got some stories for you.
So, I'll start off with a simple question. I'll start with a very simple question. Especially in this current climate. How do you feel about just marriage in general? Because I've been slowly just watching marriage take a weird turn after weird turn, and I personally and viewers of the show know I never want to get married. At this point now, I know it's just a waste of my damn time. But I'd like to get as many people's perspective on it because some people know, like my other guests, they're like in and out of relationships. We did, like I said, we did a whole breakup thing not too long ago. But I want to know what's your thoughts.
Well, I have a simple thought process that I've maintained for such a long time, and it's this: when people get married, they have a marriage certificate, and when they get married, they exchange as we know, gold on a ring. But I always tell people that you can put the marriage certificate on the wall and put the ring on the chest of drawers, and if the building or house burns down and the gold melts and the paper burns, what do you have? And that's where I start to think and say, listen, unless you have something of substance, then, the wedding day means nothing. The question is all the trials and tribulations and positive things that could happen throughout a marriage. It ain't no joke, man. I mean, marriage is day one. The question is, after that, it's a job. And the question is, what are you going to do after that? So to go to my preface, the paper, the gold means nothing. The question is, what do two people have that could make them last? It's a lot of work. I will tell you that, I'm not necessarily fond of marriage either. But after 3 months, depending on the state that you're in, it's common law marriage. So if you're messed up, you're still screwed. You're still screwed. So it all depends on the individual. I mean, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Listen, I got a brother that believes that he doesn't want to get married either, and he believes that if he makes a personal commitment to a person, a woman in his case, of about, let's say 20 years now, and she feels the same, they've been doing just great, and they're still not married. So it all depends on the individual, depends on the circumstance. Some people say they get married for financial reasons. I'm going to just say, without being too expletive, it's BS. It's really who you are. And if there's love there, great. But it's a job, man. It's hard work. And marriage is just a title, man. For some odd reason, when people get married, they lose their damn mind. Excuse my French. Is it okay to say that word?
No, it's all fine. This is as open and explicit as you want to be, man. I have no rules here.
Yeah. It's really, people lose their damn minds. I mean, it's on both sides of the table. I won't go on detail unless you ask, but both men and women's side, it all depends on their thought process and their comfortability and their experience, and what their thought process initially and why they want to get married in the first place.
Yeah. I love that. That's a much more insightful answer I was expecting.
Hey, you know me.
No, it's very honest. And again, I get a lot of flack for it as well because I'm in a long-standing relationship. At this point now, I don't know exactly, but I know it's over 10 years that me and Kelly have been together, and we're just fine.
Guess what?
What's that?
You're married.
Yeah, definitely with common law. Common law is a thing that and mind you, we have already discussed it. I said if it becomes a problem, I'll kick her out, and she can stay away for a little bit, and then we'll come back together after the fact when it wears off. If that's how the government wants to play, we'll play.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's kind of late now, man. You've been doing 10 years now.
I know.
I don't know about that.
I know.
You passed the 3-month mark, man. You done. Done.
I swear I don't know what it is about the two of us. We're an oddball couple. I've always said that, and she knows that too. We don't make sense on paper. If you look at our personality traits, they don't line up whatsoever. But I've always told people that we're more of a team than anything else. We work together. We coexist perfectly. We complement each other when we need to.
Look what you just said. You just answered. That's the answer. That's it. What you just said is the answer. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people that cannot say that statement. There are people out there, expect their kids to get married, their parents, say, oh, and there's like arranged marriages and so on and so forth. And and this girl's good for you, this boy is good for you. Well, some of these women and men are not even good for their own self.
Exactly.
They don't even know themselves. And I think that's the most important thing when you intertwine with someone, is to know who you are. And then trying to be honest with oneself is a very difficult thing to do, especially in your youth. You know, if you come from a broken home, especially, and I'm a prime example of that, you have to really look at the situation. I came from a broken home, and then I got married at the age of 19, thinking I was going to do something different than my parents. And guess what? I was wrong, because I didn't know myself and I didn't really know her. I thought I did. But at 19, I was still trying to figure out how to wipe my booty properly with some baby wipes. You know what I mean? Shoot, I was overseas. I had traveled the planet, but still couldn't figure out how to wipe my booty right. And how am I expect to know what a marriage is? But you know, that's the biggest thing too, is looking at your parents and what they give you. Whether it be positive or negative, the question is, as an individual, what do you take from it? And hopefully you can have a good perspective before you engage and intertwine in a relationship with someone else. Because if you do not have clarity, that's going to be an issue.
Shoot. No, I think you hit the nail right on the head on that one, man.
I'm just letting you know.
No, that's as solid as it comes. So, all right, now I got to ask you this, because now I got to probe a little bit. Because you said you got married at 19, which is early as all humanly hell. Like I don't even know how you manage that.
Yeah, me either.
What was the one thing, if you could just think of one thing that you're just like, that was, I would say, the red flag of like, all right, that I seen this and I should have never gotten married after I noticed that.
When she flew out, I was actually in Japan. We were high school sweethearts, and I went to Japan. And upon my coming back to Camp Pendleton, California, I got a call from her. And she had a girlfriend in San Diego, California, that was married to a correctional officer for the state of California. Anyway, long story short, I didn't see that she and her parents, there was some tribulations there. I saw it, but I didn't peep it. And she wanted to get out. So I was an escape module. And I didn't see that until time passed on. Although she might have cared for me, and maybe she said she loved me, but hey, at 19, I love my shoes. That doesn't mean I'm in love with my shoes. But you don't really realize what the situation was. And then she gave me a call, and she said, hey, I'm here. And I felt a little pressured, because I wanted to do something greater than myself. I wanted to do something that my parents didn't do, and that was last. My parents were a great team, but not. And that might be for a different story. But I thought I was going to do something greater than myself, and unfortunately, it didn't turn out to be a positive and productive. I ended up damn near $30,000 in debt.
Oh, shit.
And I had to kick her out of the base housing, and she went with another individual. Matter of fact, it was a master gunnery sergeant's son. Oh. We both volunteered at the Boys and Girl Club at the military base, and she saw something brighter. And the joke of it, and I'll try to sum it up. After we separated, her girlfriends that she worked with told her, say, hey, don't leave the Tasmanian Devil. Don't do it, because he's a good guy. Right. And they were telling me, I was like, hey, if she want to go, she got to go. Let her do her thing. And then just about a year later, she kind of befriended her girlfriends again. And the joke was, she found out where I lived. I lived in Vista, California. I got out of the Marine Corps, and I got a knock on the door. And when I open up the door, I see her face. I just kind of froze. And what I noticed is that her face was slightly bruised, but healing. And the only thing that I could say is, he's beating you, isn't he? And she says, nothing but just a tear. I said, come on in. She sat down, and she gave me a spiel with an end result of asking, could we get back together? I said, hell no. No. I said, are you absolutely out of your godforsaken mind? After all the stuff, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that went on. Are you crazy? And here's the joke. I didn't even tell my parents that I was getting married. Oh, wow. I eloped. Didn't even tell. Well, and that's when I realized there was an issue. I did not have the tools at my disposal to do the right thing. But I let her go. And you know what? And she's living probably a good life now, but at that time, it was just a different story, man. You know, that's it.
Wow. I will say you're a better man than me. I won't say I was in an exactly similar situation, but I guess it was closely because it was same scenario, young love. It was my first girlfriend. And everybody knows your first is the worst for you mentally, at least, if nothing else. And
True that.
we were together for a while, and pretty much what ended up happening is her mother told me to leave her because her mother was looking at the two of us and saying, look, man, she is abusing you mentally. I don't know if you see it, but I see it.
Wow.
Get the fuck away from her. It's not worth it. You're a good kid. Stay the hell away from her. She's not good for
That's a good mom.
Yeah,
That's
I know. It was nuts. It was actually nuts. And then years went by. I was in and out of relationships for a while. But, you know, again, in the back of your mind, it's just like, man, nothing's like that first one. And
yeah,
eventually she came back. And I swear, as soon as you get a little bit of confidence in your own head, it seems like every ex comes back.
Yeah, right?
It's so strange.
It is strange. Now, let me take a step back. As you were saying, that was your first. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of a weird kid because I can't say that was my first marriage.
Right.
But that was definitely not my first encounter.
No. I've heard your stud on stories, so you are.
Oh man.
You are a globe.
Well, you know, I don't know about here. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about when you say globetrotter, I appreciate that thing, but here's the biggest thing when it comes to men. Mm-hmm. Men have to be confident in their own skin, and unfortunately, I know there's going to be some men out there that are going to listen to this and they're going to be pissed. But I'm going to just let them know right now. You have to be self-sufficient. You have to be self-engaged, and you have to be comfortable with your own skin, especially when you look in the mirror when you got no clothes on. You understand what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So it don't matter whether or not you got a nightstick or you got a toothpick, but you got to make sure. You got to make sure that you're comfortable in your own skin.
Right.
Now, and the reason I say that is one thing I learned from my father, even though my parents separated, my father taught me something that was very important. And he said this, always maintain your calmness, cool, calm, and collected. He says, listen, don't look because you will not find. Do what makes you feel comfortable. He says, when you go out to party, in his West Indian accent, he says, when you go out to party, don't go look for no girl. Go and enjoy the music. The girl will come for you. Go out and dance and enjoy it. The girl will come for you, and that way you can say yes, yes, and no. And maintain your confidence and your thought process. And I'll tell you what, that always worked. I was always comfortable in my own skin. And I didn't have to get another notch on the pea shooter, as they say, or put a star in the book. That wasn't my thing.
Huh. I swear, man, I should have been hitting the clubs with you or something like that, man, because I did not gain my confidence until like maybe 10 years ago.
Oh, you want me to can I tell you a quick story?
Of course.
All right, so I'm at this club many years after the marriage and so forth. So I'm at this club in the city of Chicago, and it's a salsa club. I remember when I was in the Marine Corps, I used to dance a little salsa, and then get cumbia, bachata, you know, whoever's listening, they know what's up. So anyway, I see there's a bar. And the girls are all dressed to impress. And these girls are dressed to catch any man or dog attention. Okay? So I see the third girl from the left, from the end of the bar. There's about, I don't know, 6 or 7 of them. Anyway, so I see the third girl and something says to me, man, I see her moving. I said, let me not ask. So I'll go over to the left and ask the first girl. I said, hey, would you like to dance? My father always was polite. Put your hand out and say, would you like to dance? And the girl said no. And she said it so loud that the girl to her left heard it. And I asked the second girl. She said no. And the third girl, who I had an eye on, she said no. Now, mind you, I going down a few more girls, and they all said no until I get to the end. And I look at this tall girl, Amazon, like Wonder Woman. Oh, and she tall. Now, she's a very shapely girl. But I think to myself, with my thin little self, I'm like, I might have to put on my Superman cape for this one because this thing will be easy, right? So I said, would you like to dance? And the song came out. And we danced up a storm. Matter of fact, we did this one song, bachata song, where I had to, like, You know, when you're dancing, you're in the groove and you're moving, and I want to dip her. So I had to make sure that my right leg had some extra power so I could hold her. Because I know if I didn't, she'd have dropped like a hot potato. So I'm just like holding her, boom, boom, boom. And we dance and dance. And as soon as the song, and I knew the song well, as soon as the last note played, yo, I said, thank you very much. Boom. And this happened the whole night. Now, in the middle of the night, I went to the same bar. Some of the girls were still hanging on that bar because no one would ask them nothing. All these big men dressed to impress with hair and chest and gold chain sticking out on their third button. Like, you know, what the hell is
Fabio
this
looking
shit? You know what I
guys.
mean? You understand what I'm saying? My shit was buttoned all the way to my damn neck. I'm looking like Urkel, brother. But I was a handsome looking Urkel. I'll tell you that. Thank Jesus. Thank Jesus for that. So anyway, I looked to my left. I looked to my right. I said, excuse me, ladies. And I walked right in between. I got a napkin, dabbed my head for the sweat. And the girl left and right to talk to me. They're like, oh, you're a good dancer. You must be Puerto Rican. I said, no, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm from Trinidad. They said, oh, where's Trinidad? I said, look it up. Look it up. And I step away. And then I go to the girl at the end again, the big girl, the tall girl. And we dance and dance. And then the light turns on. The club is about to close. And at that last note, I stepped back, hold her hand and said, thank you for dancing with me. I had an enjoyable night. I went to take off, make a left turn. She grabbed me, my feet lifted off the ground, dude.
Oh, no.
She grabbed me. She was like, yo. And I'm like, what's up? She goes, are you going to ask me for my number? I said, are you going to be here next week Friday? She said, yes. I said, then I'll see you next week Friday. Have a good night.
Ooh,
and I walked out.
That is smooth. Smooth operator. I could not pull that off.
When you can do that, because here's the thing. Why rush? Why rush? There's no reason. And here's the biggest thing about that. The objective for me that night was to go enjoy a song with a nice person that could dance and move well. It wasn't about getting another notch on the future. Now, if that may happen, it probably wouldn't have happened the same night. That's not something I go in there and look, because here's the thing. Women smell shit a mile away. Not too many men have that sixth sense. Most women do. But when you go in the club, and if your objectives are other than enjoying the night, having a drink with your friends, or even having a drink by yourself and enjoying the atmosphere and the music, then you're in the club for the wrong reasons. If you're trying to get another notch on the pea shooter, you're going to lose. And even if you get it, you're going to lose. Because guess what? Then you're going to treat that girl bad 9, 10 times. You're going to treat that girl bad who knows a friend that knows a friend that knows you, that you're a nasty person. I'd say mofo. That's just my thing. It passes, especially in Chicago. Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
That's very true. Well, shoot, man.
So,
yeah, no,
I
like that setup, man. I do like that setup. I really, and again, it's not that I don't have the confidence now, but I swear I wish I had the confidence a good 10 years ago, man. I was not in my prime back then, man.
Well, I don't know where I got it from. I mean, shoot, in second grade, I was kissing a girl behind the chalkboard.
Ooh,
with my dad, and her name was Rita, her mom. I never get my report card from a nun. I went to a Catholic school, and me and her, and we went back to chalkboard at the end of the classroom, playing like we drinking water. We going, you're doing a little smooch. my father caught me one day. He said, "Boy, something wrong with you." So he made me read a book called Love and Sex just to teach me the right and the wrong ways.
Right.
And I think that's where I got it from, because my dad saw something early and nipped it in the butt and trained me very early. Listen, my parents might have flaws, but there's a lot of things that my mom and my dad trained me well. And that's one thing I will never forget about my dad. You know, we'd move the coffee table, man. He put on some bossa nova. He put on anything from back in the day, right, and say, this is how you ask a girl to dance. And if anybody tells you this is not the way, or they clown you, maintain what you do. Because even they clown you, you're doing the best thing possible. You're doing the better thing. And he used to ingrain it to me. Right. As a kid. I mean, I was like 5. And he was doing it can't tell you how many times he did it every year. Shoot, by the time I was 13, it's just something happened. It was just training. I was fortunate to have a dad that had that thought process, and he passed it on to me. Whether or not he followed the same thought process, I don't know. You know what I mean? I mean, he serenaded my mother with a quattro. It's a 4-string small guitar-like instrument.
Oh.
And he married my mom at an early age. But I don't know. I have to thank him for that. And, you know, either that or he enhanced what was already in me. And I've never changed that policy since. I would not change for nobody. And the guys don't like that. A lot of guys that I went out with, they hated it. They're like, dude, how come the girl's always talking to you? I said, well, dude, I mean, why don't you clear your mind? You know what I mean? I mean, don't come to the club looking for a girl. Come in here, have a drink with me, have a shot, enjoy the music, and never go nuts on your door. Great. What do you want me to say? That's it.
Damn, man, you're a regular Casanova, man. That's what that is.
No, it's not a Casanova. A Casanova, no. A Casanova is somebody that doesn't tell the truth. A Casanova is somebody that is playing debonair, is giving this false pretense, is giving a picture that doesn't exist. Because here's the thing. No one can keep up that much bullshit for 30 days, let alone maybe 90 days, just like a regular job. They give you 90 days. Right. So no man or woman can hold that much bullshit in 90 days. Because guess what? On the 91st day, your true colors are going to reveal itself. And sometimes in situations, either or on either side of the party, sometimes it's too late because I love you, I love him, I love you, and you're like, damn, I can change him or I can change her. But it's too damn late. I'm sorry. Be upfront right from the get-go.
Right. And
guess what? People, and as a man, if you're honest with a woman right from the get-go, if they don't like it, then tough titties to the kitty when the milk went dry. Bye-bye.
Holy
go.
Shit.
That's it. Gotta go. Because guess what? How many oceans are there on the planet?
7, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Guess what? Swam in the Pacific, swam in the Atlantic, and I'm going to leave it like that. But I've swam in many oceans. And if you know how to do the front stroke, side stroke, and you can do some floating, then you're good. But you got to do it right.
Right.
Don't do it for the wrong reasons. Because once you start with the wrong reasons, then it's a false pretense right from the get-go. And especially as a man, you don't want to do that to a girl because there's no worse wrath than the scorn of a woman.
God damn, man.
Point blank.
That is very good, man. So now I'm gonna have to make sure I put that in the memory banks to remove Casanova because I did not actually know that about the Casanova term. So I'm gonna put that in the memory banks. I'm letting that one go. I'm 100% letting that one go. I never thought of it that way because I always just thought of the Casanovas, the sweet talker, the smooth guy. You know what I mean? But never the guy who just outright lies.
That's what sweet talking is. No. Sweet talking it's false. Right. Because they're using terms that they would normally not use. That they're verbalizing something that they caught from someone else. They're not being true to themselves. Because here's the thing: if you're true to yourself and somebody doesn't find that capturing, then that person's not meant for you. But if you're true to yourself, there's somebody out there for you, whether it be a day or for multiple years. Sometimes it's just for a moment in time. I mean, I have traveled where I've met people on a plane and traveled and met them throughout a travel. And for 2 or 3 days, it's been the best moment in time. And that's it. And then that's all it's meant to be. Right. Life is funny, brother. But, if you're trying to be something that you're not, then you're going to fail right from the get-go. It's going to fail. It's going to catch up with you. You cannot bullshit yourself or anybody else for 90 days. You go into a job, you got 90 days. You can, if you ain't true from day one, then you ain't true on 91st day. That's all I got to say about that.
I like that. I 100% like that. And I think that's because I've said a lot of things about relationships over time, especially on this show. And it's nice for it to be put in a nicer tone because I have said similar things, but in a much harsher tone. So people hear me and they're just like, this guy's full of it. Like he's absolutely full of shit. And I will say this, and I'm sure you've never heard me say this before, but my big thing that I've said on this show 1,000 times over is, how men nowadays are calling themselves kings and stuff like that, right? And more power to you if you want to do that. But I have to remind people, and women especially too, because women will call themselves queens, and I'm like, don't forget what a queen is. The king's bitch. That's what you are. So remember your place in the relationship. And I have to remind men, not all of you are kings. Some of you are the pauper. Some of you are the village idiot. Like, not all of us are the great people in the world. And
what
it's
do
not.
They call him? Is it the Joker? What do they call him?
The jester, the court jester.
That's the court jester. And the court jester. That's exactly right, man. And here's the thing: it's easy. It's not hard. Here's the thing: everybody knows who they are. Right. When they look in the mirror, they know who they are. You can't fool yourself. They say you can't fool the fooler, can't lie to a liar, and you can't steal from the thief.
Right.
Just don't do it. If you had a little bit more confidence, and people don't realize that there's no need to rush. If you maintain some stability, some honesty, men would be surprised at women coming towards them.
Yeah.
And then listen to them, and them talking to them, and they could be on the other side saying, maybe this girl is not right for me. Right. I mean, it all depends. But the point I'm trying to make is, the way the perception is today is that all men are a-holes,
Yeah.
But keep something in mind. When a man cheats, you ever seen The Exorcist?
Yes.
Okay. You remember that one thing where there was one part where the house girl, whatever, the babysitter, whatever, she calls the priest. And he comes to the house, and they lift her shirt, Reagan's shirt, and it says, "Help me." Okay. When a man cheats or acts a damn fool, it shows up on his face, just like The Exorcist. I'm guilty. Guilty. But guess what? A woman, she could hide that shit. Yeah. I mean, come on. Everybody knows that if a man cheats, he's not doing it because of love. No. He's doing it because he's trying to get another notch on the pea shooter, which is still stupid. Now, when a woman does it, it's because she's fallen for another man. Right. Her emotions are involved in it. And that's a little bit different. And when that happens, that means the man needs to question himself and just leave. Yeah. Like my dad used to say, man, if you fuck up, the sooner you leave, the sooner something else would come. But you have to make sure that you're a clean-minded and thought process, because if not, then you're going to repeat the same shit over and over.
100%. 100%. I have made this statement 1,000 times over, especially when it comes to stuff like that. It's if you're going to leave righteously. Like, don't leave with an ultimatum in mind. Don't try and act a certain way for something else to happen. It's a righteous mindset, and that's something I've learned over time. Like I said, it's a confidence thing, and it's being in your right mind. It's I do these things for me. And whatever happens and comes around me is what I deserve, being me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, karma is a bitch. Excuse my French.
Shit.
But I mean, I'm telling you, man. I got a lot of stories. I mean, here. I don't know if I should tell you another short one.
No, I mean, by all means, we got plenty of time for you.
Okay. Well, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna try to say this without saying names in a particular place. But I drove to another state, and I drove up during a holiday, and to go meet a friend of mine, and a friend and a family member, friend, whatever. So anyway, we roll up into this club, and we see these twins, and one is they're both hourglass shaped. Let me put that this way. Wow. Hourglass shaped girls. But one is a little bit thinner and one's a little bit thicker. Now, in my eyes, if you don't have the right mindset or don't speak with some clarity, whether you're slender or you're a little thicker with an hourglass, whatever, don't matter, then you're going to be off. Because pretty doesn't mean the shape and the look of your body. It's what you have and what's being expressed out of your lips. Because I've met prettier girl, and they open their mouth, and it's nothing but crap coming out of their lips. And you're like, damn, can't do it. So anyway, so we up there, boom, and we jamming out, da-da-da. So my friend decides to talk to, it just so happens that he's talking to the thicker girl, let's say, with an hourglass figure, and I'm talking to the thinner girl with an hourglass, and I'll leave it like that. So we start talking to for some odd reason, maybe an hour after that, he's like, yo, we're going to have to switch. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? It's got to switch. He's like,
What?
because he's visually, he's seeing the thinner girl as something that's more apt for him. I said, all right, man, because he knows I have my debonair ways of doing things, so we do a switch. I said, okay, just to make him happy.
Okay.
I said, no problem. So all of a sudden, he talking to the thin girl, I'm talking to the bigger girl. and bear, let me say this one more time. They're both beautiful women, and both spoke eloquently. I mean, they were very educated. Not that you have to be educated, but even if they weren't, I was like, damn, if somebody knows the dictionary. I was like, damn, I was like, somebody knows something around here.
All
Right? And I'm just thinking, okay, so boom. And here's the joke. Here's the moral of the story. The ladies say, we really appreciate you guys buying us drinks, but we've got to go. My friend says, why? And the thin girl says, well, our dates are here. And the dates walk in. And the dates walk in, and I start cracking up inside deeply without showing facial emotion. I am cracking because I'm like, see, this is what your ass get. This is what your ass get. Okay? This is what happens when you go to the club and you think you want to get another notch on the T-shirt. And guess what? Man, he was pissed the whole night. And you know what? Here's a joke. There were a few things that happened after that. Going home, I drove back to Illinois, and I haven't spoken to him in about 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And I've known this guy from the Marine Corps back in the day. And he's a nice guy. I mean, he's a very successful person. I mean, he's just, he's surpassed. He's good at what he does. But the one thing I always look at, again, is how do we grow up? A lot of the things that we do as adults have something to do with the way we grow up, something that happened in our past with our parents, moms, dads, whatever the case may be. And everybody's life's tribulations are different. The question is, what do we do with it? And if we don't recognize the pros of it, maybe the cons of it, then it may be hard for us to decipher how we live our lives and how we interact with people. So specifically, persons of the opposite sex, whether you're a man, woman, dog, or parrot, or cat. I'm just letting that, just putting it out there. But
yeah,
it's just, and I've seen it before. But I've always had issues growing up. They always didn't like me. They're like, why do girls like you? I'm like, well, because my mind is clear. That's why. Because they got a sixth sense. They got a spidey sense, brother. They can smell shit a mile away. Because if you ain't the right, they're going to cast their web on you and stick you on the wall and say, you're shit. That's all I got to say about that.
I love that. All right. I think now is a great time to take a quick commercial break so I can attempt to get paid from doing this. And then we'll come right back with more Taz and some more of his incredible stories. All right. So I'll catch you guys in a bit. But welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm still here with Taz. This is still me, F and Bob. We're still doing the podcast thing. I don't know why I have to tell you that, but that's what it is. But everybody out there listening right now, do me a favor. And if you can, follow me on all the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Make sure you listen on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes. I'm available everywhere. The show doesn't go anywhere, man. If I'm taking a break, I'm sorry. But there's always content for you to enjoy. And if you don't enjoy the content of the podcast, and there's always YouTube with some random videos here and there, and Twitch where I play video games. So I'm available whenever you wanted to hear me. And by the way, and I don't know if you know this, Mr. Taz, I have shirts. The new shirts are available now. So make sure you stop by and get your shirt, get your water bottle. Oh, man, I got so much new stuff available. It's so beautiful. Oh,
yeah.
I love it.
I got to get it.
I will. You know what? Just for you, I will get you a shirt. I will get you your own personal shirt.
Is it in black? Is it in black?
Of course, it's in black. Of course, it's in black. I have.
Now, I mean, I'm a light-skinned brother, but I black.
So, as of today, my very first shirt has been redone because I can't spell, so I correct the spelling on it. So I have my "Too legit to quit, too stupid not to do it" shirt now available with correct spelling. And then my favorite and everyone else's favorite, my Danny Says shirt. And I don't know if you've ever seen that one, but the Danny says, you got a bitch, you got kids, you need to work overtime. And that's our Danny. That is our Danny boy. He made sure I got him a shirt.
Cool.
So yeah, so all of the nonsense fans, please buy a shirt. It supports me and it supports people coming onto my show and stuff like that too, man. The more you guys support me, the more I can pull off over time. Anyway, so back to you. We discussed a lot during that commercial break, and I kind of feel like I should add some of that in. But it made me think of a question I wanted to ask you. Because you have traveled the world. I mean, twice over pretty much. Is there, and this is not like a political question, but is there one country that you're just like, man, if I wanted to switch teams, that's the place I want to live. That's the country I want to be in.
Japan.
Really? See,
yeah.
It's not just us nerds, man. See, they always say the nerds want to stay in Japan, but Japan's a beautiful country.
No. Japan. Yeah, Japan's a beautiful country. And I think, it's because living in the United States. Listen, I come from a different country, but most of my life here I spent in the United States. And my father and my mother did their best by taking me back home to my home country and sister country, right, in the Caribbean. And my father would always say that he wants to make sure that I am an American, but not Americanized. Not to be derogatory or negative in any fashion, but what he realized, and the thought process was, we had to be a little bit different. And then coming here to the United States with the thought process says it's mentality and history of slavery and so forth. He said to me that the pigment of your skin is your first flaw here in the U.S. So he taught me to make sure that I spoke as eloquently as possible by me reading the dictionary in 10-word increments every week, and even to watch Saturday morning cartoons, Super Friends at 7 a.m. Now, with that being said, to go back to Japan, there's a thought process. There's one thought process. Yes, they were an empire at one time. Yes, they attacked the United States. Yes, I've served 17 years in the military. But here's the funny thing about it. At that particular moment in time, they attacked us. Yes, granted. It wasn't something that I think the U.S. was involved in. But Japan today is a very peaceful nation, and I think they've always been a peaceful people. They might have had the wrong influence at the time, but I love the thought of the beauty of the land, beauty of the people, especially the young Japanese. I met a lot of different people, men and women, car clubs, motorcycle clubs, different than the United States. Right. And there was something about it. It's like if when you think about something, and in a TV show, or you got that cloud that pops up over your head when you have an idea, and it goes boop, and you have that, you know what I mean? And then it shows you. That's how it was, like a dream.
Wow.
But the people were very polite. They're kind. Just crazy. Even if they didn't like Americans, it was like, you still said arigato ne. Hi, dozo, arigato ne.
Wow.
You were still friendly. Mushi, 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 mushi. I say hello.
Right.
And say thank you. Hi, dozo, arigato ne. I mean, thank you.
I used very fluent, my friend. Very fluent. Holy hell.
Well, I knew a little bit more back in the day. I at least had some small conversational Japanese because we had to communicate.
Right.
But it was something about that culture. And it's because everyone's of the same thought process. Here in the United States, we are a conglomerate of different thought processes, and which is a good thing. But at the same token, the negative is it causes a lot of chaos and mayhem.
Of course.
And it's not until we have an enemy that comes across us that we come together. Today, I'm not too sure. I'm beginning to doubt that just because of the events of the last few years.
Right.
The voices that have been silent for many years have been uprising, so to speak. But there's something about Japan, man. I mean, listen, man. When you go to Japan, or you go to Korea, or you go to Malaysia, or you go to Singapore, and they got better shit than we got in Chicago,
Of course.
I mean, come on now. Something's not right. I
Yeah.
mean, how is all these people got bullet trains, got hotels on 100-foot story buildings,
Yes.
and we still nickel and diamond with stuff. I mean, look at Chicago, man. With Cabrini Green gone,
Right.
and we still have places on the south side of Chicago with deserts.
Yes.
That's a whole different conversation. I mean, now I'm kind of thinking of somebody else. But yeah, to answer your question, Japan is probably the number one place. Korea is on point, man. I mean, they do some crazy stuff. They change stuff faster. Oh, it's probably more madness now. I need to go to Korea again. But back in the day, Korea was on point back then. But I met so many friendly people. And not to say that Japan is the only friendly nation on this planet. I've been to a lot of different places, fortunately, where I've met a lot of friendly people that are just different than the United States of America. That's all.
I can't even argue that fact with you. And again, it's not saying I've never met friendly people in the States or anything like that. But and I want to make sure I point this out to you. I want to thank you personally, because I don't even know if you remember this conversation we had way back. But
yeah,
I was sitting here just kind of spinning my reels just a little bit, and I don't think I've talked about this on the show, but when my father passed, and I was just kind of in a funk, and I was just like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what I should do, and me and you had a conversation of just like, look, you haven't been anywhere, you haven't done anything, go somewhere, do something, and I immediately that night I went home and I booked a cruise, the first vacation with me and my girlfriend. We've been together at that point in 10 years. And we had never gone anywhere together, and it was ridiculous. So I want to personally thank you for getting me off my ass and actually getting away for once. I
guess
truly
what?
appreciate
just to let you know, here's you're married. Just letting you know.
You're never gonna let me live that down.
But here's the thing. Think about this for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 10 years.
Right.
Whether you've had ups or downs, today. Right now, today, can you say that you love her?
Of course.
That you can see another 10 years down the road.
Easily. That's not even a question.
Marriage. Yes. But guess what? That's a marriage by definition in the dictionary. It's not a marriage because Jesus Christ said that. Here's the thing. A lot of laws that say that two human beings must intertwine in the eyes of God. That's what it is. I mean, yes, there's civil unions. That didn't come and get approved when? What, in the 70s, 80s, and civil unions and all? No, listen, man. Marriage is just a word. The question is there commitment? Is there continuity? Is there a love? Is there a relationship? Is there a partnership? Because that is what it boils down to. Because when we use the word marriage now, and some people get butterflies, some people get a little stomachache. So the question is, which one is it for you? Listen, the gold will melt and the paper will burn if the house burns down. The question you have to ask yourself and your significant other is, what do you have after? And if it can survive, then you're good.
Yeah. And I will say
it's just a word.
Yeah, no, wholeheartedly. And I think we've said that even to each other multiple times. We ain't going nowhere, so it is what it is at this point.
Hey, can you swim now? Can you swim?
No, I cannot swim. I still cannot swim, which I wanted.
I gotta teach you.
So, and I told the story, but we went to go meet dolphins personally, and even though she's been with aquatic animals multiple times, but this is my first time being in the water with dolphins, and I told you, I panicked so damn hard. Because there was just a cliff that we were standing on, and after that cliff, it was nothing. And they said, "Oh, just go out there and touch him, rub on the dolphin." And I sat there and panicked and clammed up so badly that Kelly had to grab me by my life vest and said, "Don't worry about it, I got you. You're not going anywhere."
Now look at that. She grabbed you, and look at that. Now, if that's not love, I don't know what to tell you.
It's a mix of love, and she knew that I was stupid because it was me, her, and this. No, I'm gonna tell you, it was me, her, and this gay couple that went to meet the dolphin, and she knew that I would have been in my own head if one of these gay dudes had to save me. So she was like, "Look, let me help him
Oh,
first."
that's fine. That's so funny. Listen. First, if you don't mind, let me tell you, no, don't ever call yourself stupid, because they say, there's a phrase that if you think it and you speak it, it comes to pass. No, you had a moment, you might have had a fear, but guess what? Whether it was, whether it was a girl or the gay dude or the gay girl or Jesus Christ himself that decided to pull you out of the water and make you walk on it, doesn't matter. But because you're human, and that's what makes us beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. And as long as you understand that, I think, what, one of the things that we get as kids, what we don't realize is sometimes parents say words to us, and we take that. And sometimes in our subliminal, it hits us. And sometimes they do shit or don't do shit. And we're like, well, we get something from them by either or action, whether they do something or they don't. But so my premise is, not to say, I get you're using that as a descriptor, but don't ever say that. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah,
listen, you had a wonderful time. Don't ever say that was a stupid moment. This was an experience for you, and that's a good experience, because guess what? The next time you do it, I bet you ride that damn dolphin. You'd be like, yo, can I ride it?
I watched a couple kids do it. I seen how fast them damn dolphins move. I'm going to hold off for a couple more visits.
But and you know why? And you know why those kids do it? The kids do it because, guess what? They have no fear.
No.
And they only get that fear because either what they did not get from their parents. I mean, I'm going deep here, but you'd be surprised, man. Kids don't know nothing until they're taught.
That's very true. No, it's 100% true. I don't know if...
Good point, mine.
I'm pretty sure my fear is taught till now. I know I've had traumatic experiences with water, so maybe that's what it is. And you know what it is? It is what it is. I understand it, though. And my understanding is stay your ass out of a certain deep end of the water. If I can walk in it, I'm safe. If I got to swim, I'm going to think about it before I step a little closer into it. That's all.
Yes. Tell you, and for your listeners out there, it's not a black thing. Trust me.
No. Because, again, I've had people on the show that they're like, yeah, no, you're the only one that can't swim, I think, at this point. And it's funny because I have the height. I have height. I'm just terrified to swim. I don't know what it is.
All right. Listen, if 9-10 times is our fear that causes us an issue. You know why people drown most of the time?
What's that?
Because of fear. They panic.
Yes.
And it's very difficult. You can't train somebody not to do it. Well, you can, but 9-10 times people get hurt because they panic.
Right.
And if you just take it easy, listen, holding your breath, being underwater ain't no different than holding your breath when you're above water. It's just, but I get it. And like I said, that was a great experience. I bet you, your bottom dollar that the next time you go out there, you'd be like, yo, I'm jumping in first.
You know what? Honestly, I can't say that I wouldn't be, twice as excited to do it. And I mean, we've already discussed going back. Like, it's that serious.
Good.
That's why, again, I want to thank you for it, because we're like, we're doing this multiple times. Especially being out in Mexico, I couldn't believe how beautiful it was, how nice the people were, and I'm just like, this is wonderful. Why don't more people enjoy this?
Where in Mexico were you at?
So it's 2 resort areas. It was Cozumel and Costa Maya.
Oh yeah. I've been to Cozumel a long time ago when I was a young Marine. Yeah, I mean, it's probably changed now, but yeah, back then, back in the 80s, early 80s, it was a nice place too.
Yeah, no, Cozumel was very nice. Very nice. I will say this. People slightly pushy when it comes to selling you stuff. I kid you not, this dude had us drunk at 9:30 in the morning. He gave us 8 shots of tequila. And I'm like, oh, look, I ain't even ate breakfast yet, man. Like, chill out. Like, we'll buy some of your shit. Just leave me alone. Like that.
That's hilarious.
And you know me, I don't even drink that heavily. But I downed a couple shots of tequila at 9:30 in the morning. I was like, well, we out here partying, so it's gonna be one.
Well, if you didn't have it on your chest, you grew some hair, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I got 2 extra.
Like, bing, bing. You're like, damn, I got 2 follicles.
But it was very fun. And you know what? I'd never drank tequila before. First time I've ever drank it, and it's very good. Very good
Yeah,
stuff.
just don't make it a habit. Because I'm gonna tell you, you make it a habit, buddy. You dance with the devil after that. Trust me, I know. Yeah, I mean,
And
shoot.
I got to get you the name of it. I know Kelly remembers it, but it was a dark colored, and I want to say it was like a hazelnut flavored tequila. And I was
That's
so
even
tempted
worse.
to buy a bottle and bring it back, but
Oh, yeah, that's the worst when you get an alcoholic beverage that has a little flavor, and when it touches your tongue, you're like, that tastes pretty good. Then you're done.
yeah,
You're done. Yeah, you got to go to confession after that, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, Father, it was yesterday. It was my last confession. What was your confession? I drank some hazelnut shit, and I don't know what to do next.
So I give him all the props in the world. He loosened me up. He got into my wallet. I bought some garbage that I didn't need, but it was, again, it was like you said, an experience. I don't regret a moment of anything. It was all wonderful. Every bit of it was wonderful.
That's the most important thing. That's great.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to hear. As long as you had a great time and you had a memorable moment, and when in your old age, before you close your eyes, man, you're going to reminisce about that moment in time.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it's something serious.
For sure. And I promise tomorrow, I know I talk like an old man, but, I say that, I know we're talking about so many different things, but the reason I say that is when you have good moments like that, because I've met a lot of friends that are not here within the age group of 18, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, and even in my 50s, whether it be they died in a wartime situation, or they died by their own hand, or by somebody else. And I'm very fortunate to be at the age that I'm at, to have seen a lot of stuff and reminisce and have some good times. I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. And the Lord, or whomever you believe in, whether it's concrete Jesus or air Jesus, however you want to put it, I'm just putting the word out there. Even if you don't believe, when that time comes, these are the moments that you're going to remember the most. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, no, and you know what? I think that's a big thing in my life, especially, like I said, after, losing my father. It's one of those things where it's just like, it was a long stretch, and you knew about the situation for years.
Yeah.
It's been a long stretch of me, just dealing with the motions of it. And not that I've lost some of my childhood, but I was so hyper-focused on being an adult at a young age that I missed out on a lot. And I never wanted to feel like that. Yeah. And
you didn't have a choice, man. You had to grow up.
Yeah.
You had to grow up quick. I mean, if I remember you telling me, I mean, you take care of stuff.
Yeah.
You had to be an adult as soon as you came out of the womb. Pretty much.
Honestly, man. I said I joke and tell people that, but I mean, I was at the age of 5 with court cases, man. Like I was going to court at 5 years old. Your boy was running some shit.
Yes, and here's the funny thing about that. I'm going to tell you, for you to be where you're at today, in your own skin and the life that you're leading. I'm not talking about job or anything like that. That is what they call tenacity, tenaciousness, and ardent desires. This is my infamous phrase that I got from a family member, and it's a perfect phrase. An ardent desire to succeed. You have endured, some crazy shit. Do you know any people out there that have gone through something similar and are not here today? They've gone down the road or the wrong path. Let me clarify. The path that may not make them successful, because even the wrong path may not be the wrong path for us. It might be the right path for them. But with that, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Hold on one second. I got to move. But, yeah, that's it, man. So, but, that's admirable, man. It takes a lot of strength to do and be who you are. So I admire you.
No, I trust me, I appreciate it, because you're one of the few people who've always made me remember that much. Because I know a lot of people always say you don't give yourself enough credit for what you've done in life, and I probably never will. I never will. It's just gonna be one of those things that I just don't cope with. But I do enjoy the fact that I try as much as I can to do whatever I can. If it's putting a little more effort in at work, or putting a little more effort in at home, or just doing stuff like this where it's, to some people, a pipe dream, but to me, it's something I want to do. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy having conversations. So I said, to hell with it. I'm starting a podcast, and if it becomes a big thing, great. If it doesn't, whatever, man. I'm still having fun. And
right. So let me ask you this: not to cross you there, but You said the word try.
Mm-hmm.
Now, every time you tried something, you did it, didn't you?
Of course.
Most people that try don't do anything.
Yeah,
So,
and I've definitely, in the course of
you
my
see the
life, learned
difference.
that. Yeah, I've definitely learned
So
that.
I want you to try your best and stop saying try, because people that try do not do. You have done, and you're still doing. That is that. But by you saying try, it's because you're maintaining humility, and you're a very humble but strong individual. That's all I can tell you.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that, man. And thanks for hitting me
No
with
problem.
You know what? That's the first time I've heard a Yoda quote, and it sounds so profane. It's do
I like that shit.
do or do not. There is no try. I love it. And you just made
Yeah,
it
there ain't
sound
no
so
try.
much better.
Yeah, because when people say, "Oh, I'm trying," they ain't doing it.
Right.
They ain't doing shit. They're like, "Oh, I'm trying." What are you trying to do? You don't try to take a shit. You just do it. Okay. Okay. People trying to take a shit. They just went in there to get some quiet and peace and quiet. That's what they try to do. No, listen. Don't tell me about try. You're gonna do, because here's the thing. If you use that terminology, it's because we have a similarity, and that similarity is we want to maintain and express humility towards other people, and that's how we tell people that we're humble, by saying certain words, and that would be one of those words. Hopefully, human beings pick up on it. Some people do, some people don't, but you do, man. You're a doer. Some people don't recognize it. Some people will never recognize it.
Yeah.
They look at you a certain way because they want you to be at a certain level that they are. But that means that their thought process is not expansive enough. They don't see the quality and the gifts that you can bring to the table because they want you to be a certain way. And guess what? No. If you're not accepting of who I am and what I can bring to the table, then that's a problem. There's nothing worse than to have somebody try to make you other than what you are. Because as far as I'm concerned, and as long as I've known you, you have done some things that a lot of simple people cannot do and get done. And, if you can't do the little shit, that means you can't do the big shit. And sometimes there are people outside of your atmosphere looking at you. They look over the little stuff. Now, little stuff is a big deal, because if that little stuff couldn't get done, dude, it'd be a big fucking deal. So, excuse my friend. It'd be a big deal. It would be a big deal.
No.
So,
and
I appreciate you.
Again, thank you so much for the profound words, man. And again, you ain't sugarcoating nothing. A few of us who are listening right now know of a certain warehouse that doesn't appreciate a certain set of skills that I own. But
ding dong.
And it's okay. You know what? I've come to live with it now, especially now, because it's now hit a peak where, and I've said this I think I've said this here before. I've been in a place at work where I've watched generations of people come and go. And I don't think that's something that most people can say, that you've watched generations of team members come and go over and over again. Yep. You've made new friends and left.
I'm prime suspect number one.
True. I get it.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
I got on the demon, got off, got back on the demon, got off. But I was like, why am I paying for a ticket to this amusement park? Boom, got on the demon, got off. I don't know. I was always hoping for a different experience on that ride.
True.
And what I realized, the ride doesn't change.
Yeah. And that's something I kind of want to make sure that all of my listeners understand. You can't fix outside forces, man. All you can really do is change who you are and how you work on yourself, and your surroundings typically fix themselves either way it goes.
Absolutely. That's it. That's all you can do.
And I think that's something that I've been truly working on over time. And I think I've gotten to a place now where I feel like if my surroundings burn, I'm going to be fine, I will maintain, I will push through whatever fires are burning around me, because I have the skill to do so. I have the perseverance to do so. And I want other people to feel that way. Like, I don't think anybody should feel like they're, they owe anybody anything, or they feel like they have to work or do certain things to support their surroundings. It's not necessary, man.
Right. Right. I'm
Because
with you. I'm
at
with
the end of the day, when, like anything or any job or anything like that, when they don't need you, you're gone.
you. Yep.
But when they need you, they will do everything in the slightest to coax you into doing what they need to do without telling you that they need you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. It's a very interesting animal. I mean, that's why all you can do is kind of look at the sky and see how fragile we are. And you know what? Puts in perspective for me is, um, how fragile the human body and the mind is.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of gives me comfort. I know this is going to sound kind of weird, but even in the midst of this, turmoil or inconsistent, whatever you want to use as an adjective, what puts in perspective is that if you're alive, I've seen some things, I've survived some things, and that's what keeps me going more than anything else. I've seen life, I've seen death, and I pray to God that for me, I mean, I'm not a church-going fella. I grew up as a Catholic and Christian, but I have a conversation with God, man. This is for me personally, and He'll get me through. And as long as you do for yourself, things will happen. But positive mental attitude is the key. Even if you're not a religious person, let's go non-religious for a minute. PMA, positive mental attitude. As long as you have that, no one's gonna break you, bro.
Love it, man. And you know what? I think that's a great way to end this episode, man. And I think that's going to be the title of this episode, PMA, man. It was going to be another therapy session, but you know what? I love the idea of PMA. And we're going to
just make sure that just clarify, it's not PMS. It's PMA.
Exactly. No, trust me. After the last few episodes with my last guest, and how he went off on his relationship, you know what? I don't think we need any more PMS or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
But you know what?
You.
I will say this. It's been a pleasure having you on. It's been great having you on, finally. We will make this a reoccurring thing by any means necessary.
All right.
Because you know what? I think after my ranting and raving that I typically do on this show, and the few guests that I've had over the time that will just pretty much co-sign and never give me the alternative, it's a nice breath of fresh air to hear somebody who's got some sense about themselves, some wisdom.
Thank God. Hey, let me by telling you the reason why I'm the Tasmanian Devil, and a lot of people know this, but
yes, we need to know.
It used to be, like I said, it was a mascot of mine in the military when I was in Japan, and the thing about the Tasmanian Devil, it's extinct. It's an Australian type dog animal, but it's extinct since 1930s, maybe 38, 39, I think it is. So I always find myself as an anomaly, something that doesn't exist. And that's why I say what I say and do what I say, because my thought process, a lot of people just don't have it. There are people out there, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But that's a small number. And, so I take pride in something that doesn't exist, that has a voice louder than most. And I will stick to my guns, and honesty is the best policy with, positive mental attitude. And I'll end it at that.
I love that. That is the greatest. You know what? I'm going to say that's probably the next best backstory I've ever heard to a nickname.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. You know what? And I'm going to put a friend of mine up to it. If we can create you a new T-shirt.
Okay.
Just for you, with a cool Tasmanian Devil look to it, I will definitely do that for you. I will definitely.
All right, make sure it's Looney Tunes Tasmanian.
I will try my best without getting sued.
Okay. You can put my face on it if you want to. It's fine.
You know what? That would be pretty cool, actually.
All you gotta do is put my face on it, and you'll be good to go.
You know what? We're gonna figure something out, man. Because, like I said, people love shirts. I love my shirts. I love all the merchandise that I've been selling over time. So, I mean, if I can come up with some new stuff and spread it with the world and everybody gets it, and obviously I always share with people who help me come up with the idea. So, By all means, you're gonna get a kickback of some shirt sales if I got to.
Okay.
Hey, look, man, like I said, I always tell people I do the show for fun. Whatever comes back to me gets either put back into the show or put into the hands of people who've helped me get this far. You know, I didn't do this by myself. I appreciate everyone, and if the people who are listening, everyone who has helped me over time, I appreciate all the help, and that's why I do the things I do, and I try and give back as much as I possibly can. So
outstanding.
I can do the same for you, man.
That's outstanding, man. That's the way to be.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
All right, man. No worries.
All right, so we'll end the episode here. It's like I said, it's been fun. To the listeners, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all the social medias, like I said before. And if you want the Tasmanian Devil to come back, I need to hear you tell me you need him back. So shout it from the rooftops, comment, like the video, send me emails. You know the drill. Let him know that you want to hear more of him. If you have questions for him, all you have to do is send me an email. All you have to do is drop a comment below, and that'll be the next episode just like that, man. It's just that simple. So before you go, do you have a message for the world?
I'm going to say a word from the 90s. Word.
And that's
it. Man, no. Hey, just be happy. Keep, positive thought process, and don't rush. Everything will come in its time. That's it. Just don't rush. Everything will come. Just be patient and have a clear thought process. That's it.
I love it, man. I really do love this. This is awesome. All right, so that'll be the episode. I'll catch you guys next time. That's been Nonsense with me, FM Bob, and my special guest, the Tasmanian Devil. We will catch you later on. That's how it works, right?
Peace and chicken grease.
Peace and chicken grease, my man.
All right.